You mentioned in the press conference just now a phrase that struck me about the films we are allowed to make. Do you feel it was a sort of Camelot moment in the film industry when THX was made, when people... I mean, everything seemed possible briefly there.
Well, it's... everybody has a different opinion about that. It was a moment in time when the studios were in a state of confusion, complete and utter confusion. And the entrepreneurs that had created the film studios, the Jack Warners and Xanax and Goldwyn's and everything, had left. Corporations had bought the studios but didn't know how to run them. And as a result, there was this vacuum. And it went on for about 10 years, where producers and directors and agents and a lot of people got in there and were able to sort of do things because there were no executives really to tell them not to. Then, as the corporate structure became more and more sophisticated, new corporations came in and bought the old ones, and it became much more structured. It became much more difficult to do that, and now it's almost impossible in terms of the studio system. But what we have now that we didn't have then, there was no independent film movement at that point. There were no independent films made. And the ones that were never really saw the light of day. They were shown in one theater in the local town or whatever. But now you go in about 25% of the films in the United States that make over $1 million are independent films that are made outside the studio system. And back then, it was like 99% of the films were studio films and 1% was outside the system. So it was, and most of that 1% were foreign films. So that part has changed dramatically. And so in the end, the freedom to make eccentric, off-the-wall movies is greater now than it was in the 70s. One of the difficulties is that the films that are being made are made by filmmakers that want to become part of the system, so they try to make films that they think will get them into the system. As opposed to with THX, I was saying, well, this will be my last opportunity to do this, and I don't really want to be in the system anyway, so I'll just make the movie, and I'll probably never get to work again.
Well, you didn't do
and
much,
I was perfectly happy about that. So I wasn't trying to impress Warner Brothers, let's put it that way.